So though it's only Tuesday, this week has already been jam-packed with exciting college football news. Earlier today, we talked about LSU getting a huge win, and now we turn our attention to Boulder, Colorado, where Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes get a massive win in the class of 2024. As four-star athlete, top 100 prospect in all of high school football, Aaron Butler commits to the Colorado Buffaloes, something we've got to break down. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill, I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you excited that Aaron Butler chose the Colorado Buffaloes? And then let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content, and you don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions seem small, but they are massive to content creators such as myself, and we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you a part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And as I stated in the intro, Aaron Butler is one of the top prospects in all of high school football, specifically coming in as the number 95 player in the nation, regardless of position, a top 10 athlete, and a top 15 player in the state of California, a state always absolutely loaded with talent. And whenever you look at Aaron Butler, there's a lot to like. He stands 6 foot, 24/7 Sports lists him around 165 pounds, and turning on the film, it becomes evident that this is a guy that could play on either side of the ball. When he had originally committed to play for USC, all indications pointed to him being a defensive back, but if you look at his offer list, it becomes very clear that both defensive back coaches and wide receiver coaches are after him from institutions of the highest level. And with the Colorado Buffaloes, he could very well play the wide receiver position if he wishes to, or the defensive back, but from what I understand, all indications point to him being a wide receiver. And there's a lot to like about his skill set there. This is the type of wide receiver we talk about and say they're dangerous because they can take a drag all the way to the house. They can turn a 5-yard slant into a house call and nobody bats an eyelash. He's dangerous at every single level, whether we're talking about the short game, the intermediate game, or the ability to separate and make himself available for deep passes. This is the type of guy that has got a really deep skill set, and that's exactly why this is such a big win for the Colorado Buffaloes. And when you look at it, it points to something we've talked about in relation to Colorado time and time again, that Coach Prime moves the needle. There's a reason why we see top prospects taking visits to Colorado, having them in their top lists, and ultimately committing. But it's the coaches outside of Coach Prime. It's the coaching staff that Coach Prime has assembled that really made me sit up and notice what the Buffaloes were doing. Whenever you look at this, Sean Lewis is now the offensive coordinator that Aaron Butler will be playing under. He was the former head coach at Kent State. We've talked about this time and time again. And if you know who he was, then you know the offense he fielded at Kent State. It was fast, it was potent, and his wide receivers did a lot of work, as did his running backs. But we can take it a step further, because Sean Lewis being your offensive coordinator is fantastic. But it gets even more intriguing, more compelling when you look at the wide receiver coach, and it's Brett Bartolone, who is the offensive coordinator for Coach Prime whenever Coach Prime was at JSU. So he has a supreme understanding of what Shedeur Sanders does really well. He has a supreme understanding of what Coach Prime wants to do, and now he gets to be the wide receiver coach under a former head coach in Sean Lewis, who's now the offensive coordinator. The coaching staff that Coach Prime has assembled is compelling. It absolutely moves the needle, and it's a big reason why I haven't been surprised to see them be active in the transfer portal, winning battles in the transfer portal, and ultimately positioning themselves in advantageous positions for some of the top prospects available in high school football. And this is a big win. Not only do you get in a guy that has immense versatility, like I said, we're talking about him playing the wide receiver position, but if he gets on campus and decides, hey, I think I'm better suited to be a defensive back, and if there's a need at defensive back, he's got the ability to do so. That's what you love about guys with this level of versatility, is the fact that they can do multiple things for you, all depending on what they want to do and all depending on where your needs lie. But it also gives Colorado more legitimacy in the state of California, a state we already addressed, having a ton of talent. California being a state that contains teams that are directly in the Pac-12 mean that Colorado will absolutely be recruiting there. And if you can get a win for a top 15 player in the state of California, a guy that the USC Trojans were after, that the Oregon Ducks were after, and that the Georgia Bulldogs were after, ultimately you feel good. The class of 2024 is going to be so intriguing for Coach Prime and for Colorado. We watched what he was able to do on short notice. He was able to patchwork a recruiting class together and ultimately patchwork a transfer portal class together. But now he's got an entire year to hit the trail. They've got the ability to build the foundation, and we always talk about recruiting and liken it to building a house. If you want to recruit well, if you want to build a program, you must have a strong foundation. This is the first time we will see what Coach Prime is able to do with having a strong foundation at Colorado, where he has time to hit the trail. He has time to make his lists, and he has time to understand the needs of his team. And because of all that, I'm super excited. But I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments and let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.